Our controversial artist Ayanda Mabulu's latest piece depicting an image of President Jacob Zuma licking the rear end of Atul Gupta has caused a social media uproar. But is this artwork tasteless rather, as many are saying, or does it serve a purpose of exposing legitimate concerns around state capture? Historian and artist Professor Pitika Ntuli joins me now in studio to unpack this a little bit further. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon, Prof. Firstly, what's your take of this artwork?
I think before we do that, what does art do? Art helps us to explore ourselves, to explore the society in which we live. It condenses facts as a response to what is happening around, and then an artist sets out to articulate it either in poetry, in drama, in song, or in painting.
And do you think that this artwork, it has caused so much outrage on social media that we've seen overnight? What's your take of the work as a piece of art in itself?
I mean, when you look at it as a piece of art in itself, how the artist used the language of painting that he has chosen, it is a very kind of a legitimate painting as an artwork. But normally ordinary people look at the literary picture. They do not actually look at the symbolic meaning of what the picture seems to be suggesting to say. And then, in a sense, people react according to how strong they feel about themselves. It's just like an issue of racism. If somebody calls me a baboon and I believe that they are right, I'll be angry. If I know I'm not a baboon, I am just simply going to say, I don't recognize myself in what you are saying, and then actually walk away. This painting, here, I'm an artist. I wouldn't paint a painting like that. I would choose maybe a different symbolic way of actually doing it. But it is his right, as a portrait painter, to depict what he feels he is depicting, what he sees, around himself. There is no law that can actually convict him. He's chosen to do that.
By artistic standards, is it overly explicit?
I don't think it is overly kind of explicit as an artistic piece. We have seen this all over the world. People have done these things for various kind of occasions. But the problem is that we, again, I think as black people, even as black artists, because we think white, then we act white. This painting is a literary translation of licking us. If at all this person was thinking in Zulu, would have done somebody bowing and doing something, not in a literary sense in which they are doing it.
And speaking about this very issue, the differentiation between black and white artists, do you think that black artists are held to a different kind of standards of adhering to cultural or social norms than white artists would be in this case?
Yeah, but it is different. When the painting that was done by Brett Murray, depicting the president, the one that caused controversy at the Goodman, being painted in a sense by a white kind of a person, it invokes the ideas of colonialism. Rudyard Kipling saying these people they are oversexed, they are criminals, they are kind of barbaric. It raises those. But when it is done now by actually a black person, it then begins to indicate to us that our own sense of oppression, our own sense of self-worth is there. So this artist says, this is what I hear everybody around the street saying, and this is how I react to this. My problem with that kind of an artist is that he does brilliant work, generally. But now and again, when he feels that he's being neglected, then he will come with a painting such as this that is going to go viral. That also speaks to how many artists have you interviewed? How many artists, the social art of black people in South Africa? It is absolutely not. It's as if they just do not exist. He's the only one that exists because he does something that is kind of outrageous in order to draw that type of an attention, which brings us to why people saying that do not make an artist angry, because they can be lethal. You can have 100 people talking in the same language in 100 of our cities. they are not going to be as powerful as one single work of art, one kind of a painting that can come over there and just take over the world, take over the social media. Everybody in the world comes up and really sees it. I think he realizes that if at all is very controversial, he is. I make giant sculptures. If I were to make a giant sculpture like he does and make it over here, I'll be the most popular artist in the world. Everybody will be seeking to me. But again, behind artists, we are going to find agents. These things are going to sell a lot of money somewhere along the line. So there are some of the issues we need to think about.
So are you saying that part of how we interpret art also is to suit our own narrative?
Yeah, we interpret art in order to suit your own narrative. If you are vulnerable, that vulnerability will be expressed in how you react to a work of art. If you are sure of what you are doing and how right you are, then you could say this comes from such a low level, even I can rise in a sense about it. So those narratives are shaped by our own vulnerabilities as human beings.
All right, so that's all we have time for this afternoon, unfortunately. Professor and historian artist Pitika Ntuli.